At 70, I planned a grand party to celebrate with my family. No one showed up. That same day, my son posted pictures of everyone at a lavish gala across town. I stayed calm. When they returned, I revealed a truth that left him speechless. Stick with my story to see how I uncovered the betrayal. Hit subscribe, share your city in the comments, and let's see how far this reaches. I'm 70 years old, a retired investigative journalist who spent decades chasing truth in Seattle's newsrooms. My name's Frank Harper, and I've always believed family is the one thing you can count on. So when the 50th anniversary of my wedding to my late husband Tom approached, I wanted to honor him with a celebration. I booked a private room at the Pink Door, a waterfront restaurant with a view of Puget Sound. I spent weeks planning. Herb-roasted lamb, garlic mashed potatoes, tiramisu, just like Tom loved. I picked a dress, deep green, the kind he said made my eyes shine. I sent invitations, called my son, Kenneth, to confirm. "We're coming, Mom," he said, voice warm, certain. By 6 p.m. on the day, the table was set for 7, place cards neatly written, candles flickering. I stood by the window, waiting for my grandkids' laughter, Caleb's chatter, Sophia's shy smile. 6:30 came. No one. I checked my phone. No texts, no calls. I dialed Kenneth, voicemail. Then his best friend, Brenda, who's been like family since college, voicemail again. My fingers trembled as I sipped water, telling myself it was just traffic, a mix-up, something small. But my chest felt tight, like a weight pressing down. By 7, the restaurant staff's glances turned soft, pitying. The lamb sat cold in the kitchen. Candles dripped wax onto the tablecloth. I called Kenneth again, no answer. Brenda, same. Even my neighbor, who I'd invited last minute, didn't pick up. This wasn't lateness. This was deliberate, planned, a slap I didn't see coming. My hands shook as I sat, staring at empty chairs, the silence louder than any noise. At 7:30, I opened Instagram. A mistake. Kenneth's post hit me like a punch. There he was, in a black suit, arm around Brenda, her red dress glowing under chandeliers. Caleb and Sophia laughed in the background, dressed up, surrounded by strangers at what the caption called the Seattle Hope Gala. "Grateful for nights like these with my favorite people," it read, posted at 6:45 while I waited alone. More photos, Caleb with a mocktail, Sophia twirling, Brenda raising champagne with a smile that cut deep. Everyone was there, except me. Something cracked inside, not loud, just sharp, like ice splitting. They'd chosen this gala over my party, over Tom's memory, over me. Kenneth, my son, who I'd raised alone after Tom's heart attack 5 years ago, had let this happen. And Brenda, always organizing his life, his business, his everything, was her smile too perfect, too calculated? I gripped my phone, fighting the urge to throw it. A text from Kenneth buzzed. "Sorry, Mom, work got crazy. Brenda planned this gala last minute. Happy anniversary." Last minute? A gala with my grandkids dressed to the nines wasn't last minute. It was planned, and I wasn't part of it. I stood, smoothed my dress, and thanked the staff, my voice steady despite the ache. I drove home, the Seattle skyline blurring through tears I refused to let fall. In my kitchen, I poured coffee, staring at the fridge covered in Caleb's drawings, Sophia's glittery crafts. When had I started fading from their lives? I thought back. Last year, Caleb's school play, when Brenda said it was canceled, but I saw photos later. Sophia's 5th birthday, when I showed up early, only to find the party already over. Brenda had apologized, blamed a mix-up, but her eyes never matched her words. Each memory clicked into place, sharp and ugly. This wasn't one mistake. It was a pattern, deliberate, cold. Brenda had been pulling strings, and Kenneth, my trusting son, let her. I remembered how he used to call weekly, sharing stories about his real estate deals, asking my advice. Now he barely called unless Brenda was there, her voice in the background steering the conversation. She'd made herself the center of his world, and I was being erased. The next morning, my doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. Since Tom passed, visitors were rare. Through the peephole, I saw a man, late 40s, gray at the temples, looking nervous. I hesitated, then opened the door, keeping the chain on. "Can I help you?" I asked. "Frank Harper?" His voice was low, cautious. "I'm Martin Cole, Kenneth's cousin. We need to talk about Brenda Hughes." My heart skipped. How did he know my name, and why Brenda? What about her? I said, voice steady. He glanced around, hands in his pockets. "This'll sound strange, but I think Brenda's been lying to Kenneth, to all of you. I have proof she's not who she says she is." I unlatched the chain, my journalist instincts kicking in. "Come in," I said, stepping aside. Martin sat on my couch, tense, like he might bolt. I offered coffee. He declined, hands clasped tight. "I don't know where to start," he said. "It's about Kenneth's business, the money, everything." "Start at the beginning," I said, sitting across from him. "And don't leave anything out." Martin took a breath. "I worked with Brenda years ago, before she got close to Kenneth. She was in PR, handling clients for my marketing firm. She was good, too good. Always knew how to twist a story, make people trust her. But then money started disappearing from a client's account. Small amounts, nothing obvious, but I traced it to her. She vanished before I could prove it. My stomach churned. What does this have to do with Kenneth? "She's doing it again," Martin said, eyes locked on mine. "I've been watching her. She's tied to Kenneth's real estate firm, managing his charity fund. I found documents, transfers, contracts that don't add up. I think she's skimming money, and she's keeping you away to make sure no one asks questions." I leaned back, processing. Brenda, the woman who'd been at every family dinner, who hugged my grandkids, who smiled like she cared, she was a liar? "Why me?" I asked. "Why keep me out?" "Because you're sharp," Martin said. "You were a journalist. You notice things. She can't risk you digging into her past, not when she's this close to getting what she wants." I stood, pacing to the window. The street outside was quiet, kids biking past, normal life going on, but my world felt like it was tilting. "What's she after?" I asked. "Kenneth's trust," Martin said. "His money, his business, maybe more. She's done this before, charmed her way into lives, then cut and run when it suits her. I think she planned that gala to make sure you felt invisible." Invisible? The word hit hard. I thought of the empty table, the gala photos, Brenda's smug smile. "What kind of proof do you have?" I asked. Martin pulled out his phone, showing me a screenshot, a bank transfer of $10,000 from Kenneth's charity fund to an account I didn't recognize. "There's more," he said. "Emails, contracts. I just need time to pull it all together. But we have to move fast. Brenda's smart. If she suspects anything, she'll cover her tracks." I nodded, my mind racing. I'd spent years chasing stories, exposing lies. This wasn't just a story. This was my family. "I'm in," I said, "but we do this my way." "No mistakes," Martin agreed, promising to bring more evidence tomorrow. After he left, I sat in my living room, the silence heavy but different now. It wasn't empty. It was charged, like the air before a storm. Brenda thought she could erase me, make me irrelevant to my own son, my grandkids. She was wrong. I'd been a journalist for 30 years. I knew how to find the truth, and I wasn't stopping until I had it. The morning after Martin Cole left my house, I woke with a fire in my chest. His words about Brenda Hughes, her lies, her schemes, stayed with me, sharp and heavy. I wasn't ready to confront Kenneth yet. My son trusted Brenda, believed in her like she was family. But I'd been a journalist for 30 years. I knew how to dig, how to find truth buried under charm and smiles. Martin promised more evidence, and I needed it solid, undeniable, before I faced my son. I poured coffee, sat at my kitchen table, and opened my laptop. Martin had sent an email overnight, no subject, just a link to a shared folder labeled Proof. Inside were scans of bank statements, emails, and a contract tied to Kenneth's real estate firm. One document caught my eye, a transfer of $20,000 from his charity fund to an account labeled BH Consulting, Brenda Hughes. My hands tightened around my mug. It wasn't proof of theft, not yet, but it was a start. Martin arrived at 10, carrying a worn briefcase. He looked tired, eyes shadowed but determined. I pulled everything I could, he said, spreading papers on my table. These are from my old firm's records, plus what I found digging into Brenda's accounts. I scanned the documents. More transfers, all small, spread out over months. $5,000 here, $10,000 there, always to BH Consulting or similar names. This could be legitimate, I said, testing him. She works with Kenneth's fund. Martin shook his head. BH Consulting doesn't exist. I checked. No registration, no office, no trace. The money's going to an offshore account. Brenda's name is on it, but she's using aliases. Barbara Holt, Brenda Harris. She's careful, but not careful enough. I leaned back, heart pounding. Barbara Holt. A name I didn't know, but it fit the pattern Martin described. Brenda reinventing herself, slipping away when questions got too close. How did you find this? I asked. I hired a guy, Martin said, a private investigator, back when Brenda worked with me. She disappeared after I confronted her about missing funds. I thought she was gone for good, until I saw her with Kenneth at a fundraiser last year. I started watching, and when I saw that gala post, I knew she was up to her old tricks. I nodded, my mind racing. Brenda had been in Kenneth's life for 20 years, since their college days at the University of Washington. She was always there, planning his events, managing his contacts, even helping with Caleb and Sophia when Kenneth's wife left him a year after Sophia was born. I'd trusted her, invited her to family dinners, let her braid Sophia's hair. But now, every memory felt tainted. I thought back to Caleb's kindergarten graduation 2 years ago. I'd driven across town, excited to see him in his tiny cap and gown. Brenda met me at the school gate, her smile apologetic. "Oh, Frank, didn't Kenneth tell you? It's tomorrow, scheduling mix-up." But I heard kids singing inside, saw balloons through the window. Later, Kenneth was confused. "No, Mom, it was today." Brenda must have gotten the dates wrong. I'd let it go, blamed my own memory, but it wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate. Then there was Sophia's 6th birthday, last spring. I'd asked Brenda 3 times for the party details. "It's just a small thing," she'd said, "probably too chaotic for you." I showed up anyway, with a gift, a dollhouse Sophia had begged for. The house was empty, party already over. Brenda apologized, said they'd started early, but her eyes were cold, calculating. Kenneth just shrugged. "Sorry, Mom, things got hectic." Each memory hit like a stone, piling up, heavy and unyielding. Brenda hadn't just excluded me, she'd trained my family to function without me. Kenneth, always so trusting, never questioned her. Caleb and Sophia, my sweet grandkids, barely hugged me anymore, always looking to Brenda for cues. I'd thought it was just life, kids growing up, Kenneth busy with his firm, but it was her, all along, pulling strings. I looked at Martin. What's her endgame? Money? "Money's part of it," he said. "Kenneth's firm is worth millions. That charity fund, it's got over $200,000, and Brenda's got access. But it's more than that. She wants control over Kenneth, his kids, his life. You're a threat because you see through her." I stood, pacing to the kitchen window. The street outside was quiet, but my mind wasn't. I saw Brenda at family dinners, always steering conversations, cutting me off when I spoke to Caleb or Sophia. "They're tired, Frank," she'd say, redirecting them to Kenneth. "Let's not overwhelm them." Kenneth would nod, oblivious, while I sat there, feeling smaller each time. "We need more," I said. "These documents, they're a start, but Kenneth won't believe it without something airtight." Martin nodded. "I've got a contact at the bank. They can pull transaction histories, but it'll take a few days. There's one more thing. Brenda's been meeting with a lawyer, someone shady. I think she's planning to transfer assets, maybe even get Kenneth to sign over part of his firm." My stomach twisted. Kenneth had built his real estate business from nothing, working nights while raising Caleb alone. Brenda had wormed her way in, offering to handle paperwork, manage the charity fund. I'd thought she was helping. Now I saw it. She was positioning herself to take everything. Over the next week, Martin and I worked quietly. He brought more documents, emails between Brenda and her lawyer, using the name Barbara Holt. One email mentioned a new structure for Kenneth's charity fund, with Brenda as the sole trustee. Another showed a transfer of $30,000 to an account in the Caymans. I dug into Brenda's past myself, using old journalist contacts. A source at the Seattle Times found a record of Barbara Holt linked to a fraud case in Portland 10 years ago. The charges were dropped, lack of evidence, but the pattern was clear. Brenda, or Barbara, had a history of charming people, taking what she could, then disappearing. I kept my routine normal, not wanting Brenda to suspect anything. I called Kenneth, keeping my voice light. "Hey, sweetheart, how's work?" I asked. "Busy," he said, distracted. Brenda's voice murmured in the background. "The gala raised $50,000 for the fund. Brenda's killing it with the planning." I forced a smile he couldn't see. "That's great. You sound tired, though." "Yeah, work's intense. Brenda's pushing me to scale up, maybe sell part of the firm." He laughed, but it sounded hollow. "She says it's time to think bigger." I hung up, my hands shaking. Sell the firm? That was Brenda's plan. Strip Kenneth of everything he'd built. I thought of Caleb and Sophia, caught in her web. Last Christmas, Brenda had called me, voice sweet but firm. "Frank, Kenneth's stressed. Let's keep the holidays small this year, just the four of us." I'd spent Christmas alone, eating leftovers, while Kenneth later told me they'd had a huge party, 20 people, all Brenda's friends. I found out through Sophia's drawings, left at my house weeks later, a picture of a crowded party, Brenda in the center, smiling. By day 8, Martin had the final piece, a bank record showing Brenda had moved $75,000 from Kenneth's fund to her offshore account, disguised as a consulting fee. The signature on the contract wasn't Kenneth's, it was forged. My heart raced as I held the paper, the proof we needed. Brenda wasn't just manipulating, she was stealing, right under Kenneth's nose. I knew what had to come next. Confronting Brenda meant confronting Kenneth, and he wouldn't want to hear it. He trusted her, maybe even loved her in his own way, but I couldn't let her destroy him, destroy my grandkids' future. I called Kenneth that afternoon, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "Hey, sweetheart," I said. "How about dinner at my place this weekend? Just you, Caleb, Sophia, and Brenda. I miss you all." He hesitated, Brenda's voice faint in the background. "Let me check with Brenda. She's got our schedule pretty tight." "Of course," I said, biting back the urge to scream. "Let me know." 2 hours later, he texted, "Saturday at 6 works. Looking forward to it." I set the phone down, my hands steady now. Brenda thought she'd won, thought she could keep me out of my family's life, but she'd underestimated me. I'd spent decades exposing liars, and I wasn't about to let her take my son, my grandkids, my family. Saturday would be the reckoning, and I was ready. Saturday arrived, gray and drizzly, typical Seattle weather. I set the dining room table with my good china, the same plates I'd planned to use for my anniversary party 10 days ago. The irony wasn't lost on me. I cooked Kenneth's favorite, pot roast with rosemary, garlic mashed potatoes, green beans with almonds. If this was the last dinner we'd share as a family, I wanted it to start warm, familiar, before the truth changed everything. They arrived at 6 sharp. Brenda swept in first, her cream-colored dress flowing, her smile polished like she was walking onto a stage. Caleb bounded through the door, all 8-year-old energy. "Grandma Frank, I got a new soccer ball. Want to see me kick it?" My heart clenched as I hugged him, his warmth a reminder of what I was fighting for. Sophia followed, quieter, clutching a stuffed bunny, her 6-year-old eyes hesitant. I kissed her forehead, and she let me, though her glance darted to Brenda. Kenneth hugged me, his embrace quick but genuine. "Smells amazing, Mom," he said, though new lines creased his face, his shoulders slumping under some unseen weight. "Work's been rough?" I asked, keeping my tone light. "Yeah," he said, glancing at Brenda. "The firm's growing fast. Brenda's helping me manage the stress." Brenda flashed her perfect smile. Kenneth's a genius, Frank, but he needs to slow down. I keep saying we should take a family trip, just the four of us. Her words were sweet, but they cut, another subtle way to exclude me. I smiled back, my journalist instincts on high alert. Family time is important, I said. Let's eat. Dinner started easy. Caleb chattered about soccer. Sophia whispered about her bunny's name, Flopsy, her new favorite. Brenda played the doting friend, cutting Caleb's meat, reminding Sophia to use her napkin. She was good, seamless, like she belonged at the center of my family. But I saw the cracks, how she redirected Caleb when he asked why I didn't come to the gala, how she changed the subject when Sophia mentioned missing me. Kenneth didn't notice, too busy praising Brenda's latest fundraiser. After dessert, apple pie, another of Kenneth's favorites, I sent the kids to the living room with their toys. Brenda objected, her voice smooth. "Oh, Frank, it's a school night. We should get them home soon."
"This won't take long," I said, firm, my eyes locking on hers. Something flickered in her expression, fear, maybe, or suspicion, and it's important.
When Caleb and Sophia were settled, giggling over a board game, I returned to the dining room. Kenneth sat back, relaxed, Brenda's hand resting on his arm. My manila folder lay beside my coffee mug, heavy with the truth. I took a breath, steadying myself. "I want to talk about family," I said, voice calm but deliberate. "About trust, about honesty, about who we really are." Brenda's smile tightened, just a fraction. "That's a bit heavy for dinner, Frank." "Is it?" I said, picking up the folder. "I think it's the perfect time." I opened it, pulling out the bank records, emails, the forged contract Martin had found. "These are from your charity fund, Kenneth. Transfers, $20,000, $30,000, $75,000, all to accounts tied to Brenda Hughes. Or should I say, Barbara Holt." The room went still, like the air had been sucked out. Kenneth stared at the papers, his face pale. Brenda froze, her hand slipping from his arm. "What are you talking about, Mom?" Kenneth asked, voice low, unsteady. I slid the documents across the table. "Brenda's been moving money from your fund to offshore accounts. BH Consulting, other shell companies, they don't exist. The signatures on these contracts, they're not yours. They're forged." Brenda stood, her chair scraping the floor. "This is ridiculous, Frank. You're out of your mind." "Kenneth, she's clearly upset about the gala, making things up to—"
"Sit down, Barbara," I said, my voice cutting through hers. She flinched at the name, her composure cracking. Kenneth looked between us, confusion turning to horror.
"Barbara," he said, voice breaking. "Mom, what's going on?" I pulled out more papers, Martin's investigator's report, records of Brenda's past as Barbara Holt, her dropped fraud case in Portland. Her real name is Barbara Holt. She's done this before, charmed her way into businesses, lives, then taken what she could. She worked with Martin years ago, stole from his clients, vanished when he got close. Now she's doing it to you. Brenda laughed, sharp and forced. "Kenneth, don't listen to this. Your mother's been lonely since Tom died. She's confused, seeing conspiracies where there aren't any." I ignored her, my eyes on Kenneth. "Look at the transfers, sweetheart. $75,000 to an account in the Caymans, signed with your name. But it's not your signature. I checked with your bank. You never approved it." Kenneth picked up the contract, his hands trembling. He studied the signature, his face draining of color. This isn't mine," he whispered. He looked at Brenda, his voice raw. "Did you do this?" Brenda's eyes darted to the door, her mask slipping. "Kenneth, you know me. I've been your friend for 20 years. I'd never hurt you. Your mother's twisting things, trying to drive a wedge between us." "Then explain the money," I said, voice steady. "Explain the emails to your lawyer, planning to take control of Kenneth's fund. Explain why you've been keeping me away from my son, my grandkids, for years." Kenneth's head snapped up. "Keeping you away? What does that mean?" I took a breath, the weight of it all spilling out. The gala wasn't a last-minute thing, Kenneth. Brenda planned it to make sure I wasn't there, just like she made sure I missed Caleb's graduation, Sophia's birthday, last Christmas. She's been isolating you, cutting out anyone who might see through her. She needed me gone because I asked questions. Kenneth turned to Brenda, his voice shaking. The gala, you said it was a work thing, that Mom knew. Was that a lie? Brenda opened her mouth, then closed it, her face pale. I thought she'd be overwhelmed, Kenneth. You know how she gets. I was protecting you, keeping things simple. Protecting me? Kenneth's voice rose, raw with pain. From my own mother? The woman who raised me? Who gave up everything for me? You planned a gala on her anniversary and didn't tell her? You made my kids part of it. From the living room, Caleb's laughter rang out, innocent, unaware of the storm in here. Sophia's soft voice joined in, singing to her bunny. My heart ached. They didn't deserve this. There's more, I said, sliding the Portland fraud report across. Barbara Holt defrauded a company 10 years ago. Same pattern. Get close, gain trust, take the money, disappear. You're not her first, Kenneth, just her biggest score. Kenneth's hands shook as he read the report, his breathing shallow. Brenda, tell me this isn't true. Tell me you didn't steal from me, from my kids' future. Brenda backed toward the door, her voice trembling. I didn't steal anything. I was helping you, Kenneth. You were drowning in work. I made things easier, set up the fund, planned the gala. With my money, Kenneth shouted, slamming the table. The dishes jumped, coffee spilling. You forged my signature. You lied about my mother. Was any of it real? Our friendship? The way you acted with Caleb and Sophia? Brenda's eyes filled with tears, but they felt rehearsed, like everything else about her. I care about you, she said. I care about the kids. You're family to me. Then why? Kenneth's voice broke. Why do this? I waited, hoping Brenda would crumble, admit it all. But she straightened, her face hardening. You don't get it, do you? I made your life better. Without me, you'd still be struggling, buried in paperwork. I earned that money. Kenneth stared at her like he was seeing her for the first time. Earned it? By stealing? By pushing my mother out of our lives? I stood, my voice calm but unyielding. Barbara, you thought you could erase me, make me invisible, but I'm still here, and I'm not letting you hurt my family anymore. Brenda turned to me, her eyes cold. You're pathetic, Frank, clinging to a family that's moved on without you. Kenneth doesn't need you. He needs me. Those words hit like a slap, but I didn't flinch. I looked at Kenneth, waiting for him to choose. He stood, his face torn between shock and anger. Brenda, get out, he said, voice low. Now. She froze, then grabbed her purse, her movements sharp. You're making a mistake, she said. You'll regret this. No, Kenneth said. The mistake was trusting you. Brenda walked out, the door slamming behind her. I thought that was it, that we'd won, that Kenneth saw the truth. But then he turned to me, his eyes hard. Why didn't you tell me sooner, Mom? Why let it get this far? I blinked, caught off guard. I only found out this week, sweetheart. Martin came to me, showed me the proof. I had to be sure. Sure? He snapped. You went behind my back, digging into my life, my business. Brenda's been my friend for 20 years. You could have talked to me first. My heart sank. Kenneth, I tried. I called, I asked to see you. Brenda made sure I couldn't get close. She's been lying to you, manipulating you. Maybe she did, he said, voice cold. But you didn't trust me to handle it. You treated me like a kid, not your son. I need time to think. He grabbed his coat, called for Caleb and Sophia. Let's go, kids. Caleb ran in, confused. Grandma, are we leaving already? I knelt, hugging him, then Sophia, their warmth breaking my heart. Just for now, sweetheart, I said, forcing a smile. I'll see you soon. Kenneth didn't look back as they left. The house fell silent, heavier than ever. I sat, staring at the folder, the truth that had cost me my son. Brenda was gone, but so was Kenneth's trust in me. I'd won the battle, but lost the war. 3 months later, I was alone in my house, the Seattle rain tapping my windows. Kenneth hadn't called, hadn't brought the kids over. I heard through a neighbor he'd hired a lawyer, frozen the charity fund, and reported Brenda to the authorities. She'd disappeared again, just like Martin said she would. But Kenneth didn't reach out, didn't apologize, didn't try to fix things. He'd chosen to shut me out, maybe because facing me meant facing the truth about how blind he'd been. I made a choice too. I sold my husband's old cabin, a place we'd built memories in, and donated the $100,000 to a real charity, one that helps kids like Caleb and Sophia. It felt right, like a way to honor Tom, to keep my heart open despite the pain. Looking back, I learned something hard but true. Family isn't just love, it's trust, and trust can be a weapon in the wrong hands. Brenda used it to tear us apart, and I was too late to stop her completely. If you're listening, don't let someone manipulate your family, make you doubt the people who've always had your back. Check the truth before it's too late. Thank you for hearing my story. It's not the ending I wanted, but it's mine. Hit subscribe, comment your thoughts, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Let's make sure no one else loses their family to a lie.